right here is the most popular mudra for the last thousands of years. And you see all the steps, and you take the whole day and lay your hand on the mudra for wisdom. So we go like this. So every hand signal, good or bad, mudra. Send out energy. Any questions? We go on to the next homeopathic remedy used in physical dosage. Massive physical dosage. Okay? So we're going to talk about diatomaceous herbs. And we talk about what that name means. The first name, it has nothing to do with atomic stuff, but it actually is a diatom. Diatom is an old, as you see, microalgae. And it has in its, we don't like to say skeleton, but the plant skeleton was silica, formed with silica. So there's whole mountains of this. I think there's 600 sites in the United States. These mountains of these old ocean microalgae that millions of years ago broke down. That's what they call primordial. Millions of years ago, it broke down into these mountains of powder. These powders are all 100% pure plant silica. Okay. I was in Hawaii. I met this kahuna, and he asked me, "What do I do?" And I said, "Oh, I do homeopathy. What's the homeopathy stuff?" And everything I talked about, he had an answer for it. And I said, "Well, we get this really good for silica for children when they're growing up and they go strong and happy." He said, "What is this silica?" And I said, "Well, it's like glass." And he said, "You mean beach sand?" He said, "We do that." The child's underweight, and he described every silica symptom. They give them pinches of beach sand, put it in water, and have them drink it. So went on and on and on. And he said, "What else?" I said, "Well, we treat grief with psychological stuff." He said, "Like what? What do you treat grief with?" Of course, everyone's going to say, "What remedy?" And nature mirror. He said, "Oh, what's nature mirror?" He said, "Sauce. We do that." Unbelievable. He said, when someone dies, in ancient Hawaiian culture, they would go get seawater. And they would sprinkle their pillows with seawater so they will let go of the past. We think we know all this stuff. I said, "What else you do?" I said, "I do qigong. Show me." So I got up and did it. He's all I do. I said, "What kind of qigong you do?" He said, "We do navigator bird qigong." So they'd have the priest would drink kava kava or some other thing to get them kind of, you say looped up? Looped up, and they would do this bird dance, and they're imitating navigator birds. And they would put them on this thing, and they would carry them and put them on the front of the boat. And they would do this qigong for like hours and sweating and all this. And they go like that, and they go into a trance. They put them on the front of the boat, and he could see for 1,000 miles. And that's how they got to Hawaii. So the navigator birds, you don't know the story. They fly high, and they only come to Earth down to lay their eggs. They're a high-flying bird, they can see for hundreds of miles. They learn how to go and trap the sea. They know this shamanistic chief. He had to answer for everything I said. And I said, "Well, what's this homeopathy?" And I said, "I tell him about Hana." He said, he closed his eyes and said, "Medical profit." So I've never heard anyone describe him as a medical prophet. Instantly, he knew what he was. He said, he's a medical prophet. Okay? So silica. And these are some of the crystal shapes of it. All kinds of shapes of crystals. We have electron microscope stuff. This is amazing stuff. Just so you know, I call it white charcoal. Yeah, black charcoal and white charcoal. So there's a lot of symbols, but it's a lot more powerful in other ways than that. I'm going to look at it. Okay? So if you go out looking for buys, the number one thing you want to look for is food grade. Food grade diatomaceous earth. And that's really not a good thing. It's nothing to do with earth or dirt or anything. It should be diatom silica or diatomaceous plant silica. But basically it's plant silica. plant iron, plant calcium, all these are superior than any chemically or synthetic vitamins and stuff. Food grade at unbelievable health results. I personally have never seen anything more powerful. I mean, these other things are powerful, but this is powerful in a different way. Okay? It's been, they discovered its use in the veterinarian thing, because they would give it in the animal feed, and all these worms and parasites would come out. So there's nothing we found better to treat, clearing out worms and parasites and stuff in the body than diatomaceous earth. And it's unbelievable. I mean, not only in the body, but around your house, your garden, anywhere. And if you have bed bugs, you tell people in New York, they can't cross the line. A little powder here, they can't cross the line. And I don't want to get into all that, but that's kind of gross. So it also has, mostly silica, it also has 15 other mineral calcium, magnesium, and stuff in the powder. They immediately when people start taking, their nails get stronger, their hair gets healthier, their skin gets softer. And one of the first signs it's working. Okay. And you got anybody with split nails, hanging nails, spots on their nails, lines on their nails, that's silica deficiency. Sometimes it's zinc, oftentimes silica deficiency. All this is homeopathic in that. And it also gives silica 30 C, you can see improvement in that, especially with a basic nutritional cause. Okay?
Is there anything from time to
It depends on what you're treating and all this, but you're unbelievable how fast it works. Unbelievable. You see unbelievable 20, 30 year stuff going in a week sometimes. And it's the fastest thing I've ever seen. Besides an acute homeopathic. Yes?
Any good for Morgana's disease?
Yes. That's my only choice. I haven't treated it yet, and I'm not wishing for any cases. You opened a can of worms. How many people know Morgana's disease? Most freakiest thing. You can look it up on the internet. Morgellons. Morgellons disease. It's a disease where these fibers start growing all through your body. There's no drugs or anything that can help it.
I hear they're dismissed in psychiatric cases.
It's in psychiatric cases?
When they go to the doctor, they send them to the psychiatrist.
Right, because they can't do anything.
No, they don't want to know.
And if you look on the internet, it's really scary stuff. This is a really powerful weapon against all kinds of stuff. Yes?
I treated 2 cases with black walnut. They didn't come back. Their psychological profile, they were so paranoid and scared. They wouldn't even come to the building in the fear that everyone was going to catch it. And they were, they're just so.
You tried black walnut?
I did try black walnut, but I don't know. They never came back.
So DE, we call it DE for short, because diatomaceous earth is too long. All the time. So we say DE. Now, us personally, we buy 25 kilo bags at a time. Right? I mean, unbelievable. She speaks on the radio, they sell 3-pound bags. I sell quarts and all this in the health food stores and that. And these people, they just come back and come back. And they swear by it. We have personal friends for blood pressure and things. And one guy started brushing his teeth with it. He went back to the dentist, and the dentist was freaking out. What did you do? What are you doing? You couldn't believe it. All the periodontal disease, all this stuff. I'm not recommending this. Because then people, that's a little abrasive. Yeah, you'll see, it's unbelievable stuff. You take a powder, and you put a little water in it, polishes silver. I don't want to take the polished silver. Very strange remedy. But you know silica, you know diatomaceous earth all the way up to 10 inches. Now you know silica. Okay, what these crystals do in the physical form. Okay. Yes. Oh, what's coming up? Teaspoon doses in water you drink it. The locals call it dirt. I want some of that dirt. She gave that dirt to my cousin. His blood pressure went down in 3 days. 3 days! tell me something else to do that. I don't care how high the potency you get. I've never seen it. Never. And stabilized. Okay? And I'll tell you why it works for these things too. It's unbelievably simple. So why it's so amazing. Okay? And I don't know if we're all silica deficient. I don't even know if it works that way. Okay? But we got a lot of interesting stuff coming up here.
This isn't the same as the group of clay, the
Bentonite clay is totally different. Yeah, that's another lecture.
okay, alumina.
Right. The clay, this is not a clay. This is a plant. An algae plant. Okay? The powder of it.
But can you pull out like silica does in glass? Possibly. The motor around.
Can you do what?
With this polish, can you actually pull out?
Yeah, I have some more. Yeah, they're too big to pull out. I mean, I can pull it out. Right, but little things, yes, we'll get to some of that. I actually, there's very few restrictions. Maybe pacemakers or something, but very few restrictions. Okay. With something that big, I mean, they can't come out. Okay, heavy metal poisoning, one of the best remedies, that and charcoal. I often mix the two together and give it to people. It pulls out mercury from vaccines, fluoridated water, and that it pulls out, detoxifies aluminum from deodorants and all this type of stuff. And, so it's been proven to pull out aluminum and mercury and lead, as charcoal has. So DE is extremely pure, okay? The shape of a diatom, these little crystalline type, they all look like mandalas, or stars, or these various things. The saltwater deposits contain a mix of diatoms, but this is a freshwater deposit. There's 600 deposits in the U.S., but only 4 are considered food grade. Now this is very important, you underline it. If you heat this up, it goes from plant silica to silicone. Well, we don't want that. Silicon. Okay? We never heat this. Never heat it. You don't put it in your tea, you don't put it in your coffee, and that. Another warning is you don't want to breathe it in. Another warning is you don't want to get it in your eyes. Okay? So we have people, and they open up the pint jar or a plastic bag, they put the teaspoon there, and they put the water and mix it, and you drink it. Usually a teaspoon or a tablespoon a day. People are taking unbelievable videos on this. If some are taking 3 tablespoons a day, or 12 a day, and all that. But even a teaspoon is enough. They have a lot of nutritional and detox. So charcoal is not giving us any nutrition. Now this is doing stuff, and it's repairing the tissue. They're like little computers and nanites going through your body repairing things. Okay?
It's easy to get hold of them.
Yes. It's in all our farm stores, the feed stores, and all that. And all you have to look for is food grade, because they give it to animals. And it's unbelievable for plants in the gardens. So gardens, households, detox, curing things, trying to be. Okay?
You pull out diatomaceous earth on the internet and you get it.
Yep. Amazon UK sells it. So here's one of the crystals here. Huh? eBay. Yeah, I will find a reputable company. You guys can get together and buy a whole big 25 kilo bag, and that's so many. Like one little thing, and what do we sell? 4 pounds or something for a month's supply. A whole big bag, rigorous. 50 pounds is like what? 25 kilos, right? 50 pounds costs like $25. Okay? There's all this most powerful medicine we buy in bags. The farmers use it, the veterinarians use it, and this type of thing. Here's different ways it works. It also kills bacteria, fungus, protozoa, viruses, and all this stuff. Helps pull out, which charcoal doesn't affect a lot of microorganisms. Charcoal is more innate and organic in this. And when people take it, and that's why they come back, they just feel better. We try to put them there, they can't tell you, yeah, I'm feeling better, yeah. I just feel better. It's like their gut brain is telling them, we need this and we like it. Okay? No pushing, no education. It's usually word of mouth and stuff like that. Okay? There's some more of the crystals. It also, it's very hard. I think these are wrong. Some geologists corrected me, some city in the world, about this. I think diamonds are 10 or something, or whatever. It's very hard. And this is exactly my silica lecture 30 years ago. We talked about silica needing grit, and how silica, everybody thinks silica is weak, and, you know, poor self-confidence and all that. But also, it's black type as a rubric for stubbornness. Right? Hard-headed and stubborn. And you take the beach sand and you're like, yeah, oh yeah, look how soft that is. Get down to a few granules. Oh, it's hard. Touch yourself. So as above, so below. Physical silica is actually, on a microscopic level, very, very hard. And these cylinders, they call them, are water soluble and go right through your body. And they'll go into your body. Okay? It cleans the intestinal wall. We had a case, and I had video pictures and stuff. And this woman did this DE on her husband who had colitis. And they had the x-ray there online. They showed the x-ray and the ulcers and the bleeding, the bleeding stool and all this. So she did DE for 1 or 2 weeks. And they went back to gastroenterologist and didn't find anything. And after, that's a few months. The intestinal wall was no longer coated with mucus or mold, so it was absolutely clean. And they couldn't believe it. And actually, the gastroenterologist said they'd never seen a colon that clean. So the charcoal pulls out the toxin. This scrubs your colon clean. It goes into a villi and all that, gets all that stuff out. And here's the cylinders. Here's the big signs of the big deposit. Okay? And here's some of the theories about all our grains and the big farming methods and all our plants and all this stuff are now deficient in silica. Okay? So that's one person's theory of it. And this is an inexpensive way to get plant silica. Whether it looks indicated or not, you take it and you see how a person responds. But the main thing we give for it is 2 things. Lowering cholesterol and blood sugar. The third thing is the irritable bowel.
You put it on a vegetable patch, and you can't detect it.
Yeah, as a pesticide, yes. Fire ant. Usually I wouldn't do that unless there's something that's harmful. Okay. Like bed bugs, it's horrible. Lyme disease, this stuff is horrible. Okay? So, the first comment to you, that your bowel movements become perfect and effortless. Whether it's diarrhea or constipation. But it tones up the colon, cleans the colon in that. Okay? You take it and it's like, you go there, effortless bowel movement. Okay? Your colon gets helps polyps, cancers, ulcers, and all this stuff. Cleaning out the colon. You get a colonic and then do DE. It's like you did a 2-3 week fast. Add charcoal to it, you've done more. Without all the suffering and psychological stress of fasting, and not eating, not being able to work, all this stuff. Okay? So all the food and the nutrients and all that stuff gets absorbed better once it scrubs the colon clean. Scrub it clean. Okay, and all the people we know, their cholesterol lower by 40 to 50 points almost in days. Blood pressure also goes down in days. Now, I've thought about it. Why would it take the blood pressure down in days? We're not getting to that. It also clears out the plaques in your arteries. It's from your arteries clean too. Well, why would it affect a blood vessel, assuming they don't have a plaque? No, this is knowing silica as a remedy and as a nutritional. Silica gives elasticity to your blood vessels.
I always say, because silica is a precursor of collagen.
Yes, yes.
That's an
Yep. Well, when your blood vessels can expand and contract in healthy areas, the blood pressure goes normal. When you have tension there, or plaques, or not, the blood pressures are tight and small. That's definitely high blood pressure. You know, the heart has to work harder to push it through. And you give the plant silica, and it expands and contracts as it needs. Okay? So as soon as it's fed to silica, it starts working.
Is this systemic or is there no problem?
What?
Is this systemic? Because
We're getting to it. Yeah. Some of it goes, yeah, this goes in the blood. Difference with charcoal in there. They're really complementary. Okay, this is more scrubbing and cleaning and getting out plaques and bacteria and parasites and all that. And this goes through the blood and goes through the blood and collects things and goes. Amazing. But it doesn't have absorbability and stuff in charcoal.
Would the blood pressure is low?
You can still get, we're toning up the arteries and veins. Don't ask me about vein toning. And again, this tones up the veins. Okay? It helps break down and destroy bad fat and things too. So a big use for it is arthritis. And sometimes arthritis pain and stuff. And again, the joints are looser, they feel less stiff and all this. The body cannot assimilate and make use of calcium without silica. We have all these people taking calcium supplements for osteoporosis, and they should be taking silica or magnesium supplements for osteoporosis. Okay? But the cure is just weight-bearing exercises, walking, or doing standing meditation until your legs are aching. And all these, when you gravity can cure osteoporosis. So when your weight, it pulls calcium out of the blood, it goes and puts it in the bones to support that weight. And your bones get stronger. And then that produces healthy bone marrow. The bone marrow produces your blood cells, and all your immune system is in your bones. So they do a bone marrow transplant. Because they killed the cancer patient's bone marrow with X-rays to kill it. So they have to try to replace it. Okay, well, don't kill it, you won't have to replace it. Okay. So osteoporosis. Silica is responsible for depositing minerals in the bones, especially calcium. So we can give silica for calcium deficiency. Healthier skin. If we, she has a picture of me. That watermelon, right? Remember? The
Oh, yeah,
facial.
we did a watermelon.
And it's in the newspaper of our local city. So she had a picture of me with diatomaceous earth and watermelon juice. So we mixed watermelon juice in that and did a facial. We had a health fair. And we're sitting there and you wash it off, and you can't believe how clean and how soft your skin feels. But you don't want to get and rub it, right? You know, that's a little rough. But you just put it on and then wash it off. Comes like a paste. So I look like this Halloween creature, white face. Okay.
Robin, can I just ask, would it be useful for connective tissue to like erythromas or what?
Yes, because like she was saying, precursor to collagen, all this tissue stuff. And silica removes all that. Weak tissue, scars easily, nails break, hair, split ends, loss of hair, all the silica stuff that we know. You can prescribe it this way too. Okay? So it does not indicate anything we know, it just adds to it. Okay? So I've never seen a homeopathic book that silica lowers blood pressure, that silica lowers blood. I haven't seen it. Okay? Energetic. Now we see it physically, it has different uses. You combine them all, you know silica from the beginning to the highest. Okay, right here, talking about the collagen and that. And that's the glue that holds everything together, the wrinkles and all this stuff. And sagging, a lot of aging things is all silica deficiency. When you look at the children and all that, and you give them silica and that. And the same thing is with elbows. You're weak, shortness of breath, scarred easily, tired, can't walk up the stairs, they're thin. All this is stuff is silica. Diet, DE physically, and silica cell salt, and silica potency. You have constitutional symptoms, all work with it.
Can it be on it long term?
Huh?
Can it be on it long term?
It's a food, yeah. It's a food. So how long? Reardon's been out over a year.
How did you know what I was thinking?
Since we're married. It's been over a year for him. Great.
Well, yeah, I was thinking
This
back
is
to
the
that.
same guy that brushed his teeth and they couldn't believe it, cured everything. And he used Nux Vomica. I gave him Nux Vomica. It was a miracle. He would wake up every night at 3 a.m. and all these guys gave him Nux Vomica and all that, and it didn't touch his high blood pressure. Okay, or his cholesterol test. He kept going to the doctor and all that. And then we gave him DE. His blood pressure shot down. The doctor took him off the drugs. And it's been over a year now. No drugs, good blood pressure.
He's still on it.
He's still on it.
Still on it, yeah.
Look at just a teaspoon in water 3 times a day. There's not much else to say. Okay? But also works for abscess, boils. All this is silica stuff in the homeopathic material. Calluses, warts. You got big corns and calluses on your feet. You can make a little paste with diatomaceous earth and rub it in. And it will soften up all that stuff. Okay? Eczema. I haven't heard anybody using it for burns or frostbite. Okay, but insect bites, sores, and all this stuff. It helps regenerate skin that's been damaged. Okay.
I use it and start with 1 teaspoon, and I've had little old ladies in their 60s do up to 3 tablespoons, and they're out in their flower beds digging ditches. So excited.
It's also an energy. It gives you
Big
energy.
energy.
What's the essence of silica? Lack of
Bread.
stamina. Lack of stamina. And this gives it. You go, if I know I have to go cut wood or haul, you don't believe it. Sometimes I have 500, 600 pounds of books. I'm lifting and moving, loading, unlifting hundreds of pounds of books for one day to ship out overseas and stuff. And if I know I have to do something like that, I take some chia seeds or DE, and I take it and go, I'm ready. We're giving to all these athletes and these sports people are picking up these tonics. This is a big thing with a tonic. It enhances sports performance. Okay. Now, Arnica and Rescue Room, we give them sports people that, and they don't get cramps, they don't get this. But this enhances sports performance. You beat your own records. You can run farther, you can jump higher, you can do all this stuff. Okay. Chia seeds were the runners. You know, the movies coming out, you'll see a Tara Humara Indians in Mexico. And they make all the Olympic and all these guys. They put them to shame. They run 80 miles for fun. And they're not out of breath. For fun. The top athletes in the world met them in Colorado, you know, a mile high up, 5,000 feet up. And they ran a 100-mile race. So these little Indians with their sandal and their loincloth, I have some pictures when I did Chia and that. They're making movies on it. They had this little sandals and a loincloth and their little colorful hats. And they're running. And they don't run faster than they can hold a normal conversation. So Americans got 1 or 2 hours ahead of them. And they're just talking and the film crew said, what are they doing? And they're at 70 miles. You know, they could still barely see the Americans. It was straight and in the mountains, okay? And they winked at each other. The last 30 miles they ran full speed. And he's running full speed and his sandals broke. One of her sandals broke. He stopped on the road, grabbed some twine and that fixed the sandal and ran past the Americans with their Nike stuff and their high heels. They're making up a documentary film. And a number of New York Times bestsellers. The book is called Born to Run. Native Americans in Colorado would run to California to attend festivals. They would run. And all the messages from village to village, they would take it out on the horses. Because they could run at a pace where their breath did not go up. Then you can run forever. Okay? So they had it. It was chia seed. Okay? So it helps give healthier hair growth. People, exactly, you know, anybody with America, you get a cell the hair starts growing, or people fall premature, and this type of stuff. We saw yesterday, brainwave started generating that head, that guy's head. Okay? He should have had a picture, because all that was dark. He said it used to be gray. He started doing this. All we're doing is sending blood there. Blood is here. Okay? So all this beauty stuff, healthier hair, more shine, more luster. Well, it's not what chemicals and things that make it shine. I mean, you can put anything on there to make it look shine. You can put any makeup on to make it look rosy and blush. Okay? But when you remove it, the truth is